The message lit up our old family group thread like a warning flare. Family check-in, Thursday 7 p.m. Olivia needs guidance. My situation. That's what they called my decision to leave my tenured university role and build a climate tech startup in 2019. For 5 years, I'd endured their veiled concern, awkward silences, and relentless reminders about 401k and stability. I parked outside my childhood home in Charleston, South Carolina. The colonial brick facade hadn't changed. Neither had their view of success: titles, tenure, and tailored suits. Dad's Tesla was parked neatly beside my sister Lauren's sleek Audi. I pulled up in my dusty 2011 Subaru. It stood out. So did I. My phone buzzed. Dev, my CTO. Forbes drops at 8 p.m. EST. You ready? I typed. Perfect. Family lecture starts at 7. He replied instantly. Want me to fake a server crash so you can escape? Tempting, but no. This'll be worth it. I checked the mirror. Plain black blazer, white tee, pulled back curls, no jewelry. Let them assume I was barely scraping by. Mom opened the door before I knocked. Chanel suit, frown barely concealed. Olivia, 2 minutes late. Precision is overrated, I smiled. Not in business, she sniffed, guiding me into the parlor. It was staged like a corporate ambush. Dad flanked the fireplace. Lauren and her husband Colin occupied the leather settee. Aunt Moira, Mom's sister, sat poised with a notepad. And of course, Allison, Lauren's best friend and smug management consultant. Lauren greeted me with a glossy grin. Cute blazer, Zara. Thrifted. She blinked. Sustainable, I added. Dad cleared his throat. Let's begin. We're here because we're concerned about you, Olivia. I took the most awkward, creaky chair in the room, positioned perfectly to face every skeptical expression. Concerned about your decisions, Mom corrected. 5 years ago, you had everything. 10-year track at Georgetown, that beautiful loft in D.C. And Evan, she added sharply, the financial analyst they'd practically married me off to in their heads, before I ended the engagement and launched my own company. And now, Dad gestured vaguely, a 1-bedroom rental above a bakery and a car from 2011. You've thrown away a future for some climate tech thing? Startup, Colin chimed in helpfully, eyes gleaming with condescension. Though let's be honest, startups only work if they scale. Your sector's oversaturated. You'd need major capital just to compete. I almost laughed. Colin, who failed to launch his own app 3 times. Colin, who pitched a green energy idea last month to one of my shell firms and got rejected again. We just want to help, Lauren said sweetly. It's not shameful to walk away from something that isn't working. Georgetown would rehire you, Aunt Moira offered. Barbara's daughter just made full professor at Stanford, youngest in their department. She paused with intent. That could have been you. I checked my watch, 7:43 p.m. Forbes would publish in 17 minutes. You still haven't told us what your company does, Mom huffed. So much secrecy. And for what? Where's the proof? Dad rose to full CEO height. We're here to fix this before it's too late. Lauren's phone buzzed. She glanced, froze, then stared harder. Oh my God, she breathed. Why is your face on the Forbes 30 under 30 list? The room fell silent, wine glasses half raised, eyes locked. Colin snatched the phone. That's not possible, Colin muttered, scrolling with shaking fingers. This can't be right. Olivia Ramirez, 34, founder and CEO of Solterra Innovations, valued at $2 billion, I supplied calmly, folding my arms. Well, technically 3 now. We just finalized another acquisition this morning. Dad sank back into his chair like the air had left the room. $3 billion? Would you like to know what we actually do now? I pulled out my tablet and opened our latest investor deck. The glowing title read, Solterra Innovations, the future of sustainable infrastructure. We build adaptive energy systems for disaster-prone regions. Hybrid tech integrating AI, solar grids, and modular water storage. We've signed contracts with FEMA, the E-Climate Council, and just last month, Tokyo. Lauren's mouth fell slightly open. The apartment you all keep criticizing? Smallest unit in the EcoSmart building I own. The old Subaru? Bought intentionally. Reliable. Understated. Like most of my best assets. Mom's wine glass wobbled in her hand. But you never said? You never asked, I said, voice even. You were too busy treating my career like a cautionary tale. I stood, adjusting my thrifted blazer. You wanted to fix me. But I wasn't broken. Emma's phone buzzed violently. I could see headlines lighting up her screen. Forbes, the billionaire you've never heard of until now. James looked like he'd bitten into a lemon. Aunt Moira had already whipped out her phone, probably dialing Barbara. Dad just whispered again, 3 billion. Marcus's message came through. CNBC rescheduled to 9. Don't be late. That's my ride, I said. Unlike the Subaru, this one's electric, and comes with a film crew. Paused at the doorway. You know what they say. Success is louder when you let people think you're losing. Then I left. If Olivia's quiet rise and bold reveal moved you, don't forget to subscribe. Her story's just getting started, and you won't want to miss what comes next. Oh, and Lauren? I paused at the door. That green energy startup Colin pitched last month, the one Bennett Ventures turned down? She blinked. I smiled. That's my investment firm. I left them there, clutching their wine glasses and worn-out pride, surrounded by luxury brands and their outdated idea of success. Outside, a sleek, driverless Lucid sedan waited to take me to the CNBC. Sometimes the best revenge isn't proving people wrong. It's letting them realize they never really knew you at all. And I was just getting started. The CNBC interview was the spark. By midnight, my inbox and phone were flooded. Classmates I hadn't heard from in a decade suddenly remembered our bond. Cousins I barely knew messaged me, saying they always believed in me. And most predictably, my family. Mom, Olivia, please call us. Lauren, why didn't you tell me? I'm your sister. Colleen, about that pitch. Maybe we could grab lunch? Dad, you had all this success and kept it from us? I ignored them. Marcus's message lit up my screen. Solterra stock up 12%, Tokyo's live, boards ready for tomorrow. By morning, I walked through Solterra's headquarters, glass, light, and code humming through every surface. The security guard gave a crisp nod. Good morning, Miss Ramirez. Aya, my executive assistant, met me at the elevator. Your family's been calling since 6. Your mother even tried to charm her way past reception. I laughed softly. Protocol? Followed. Of course. Any other surprises? Lauren just posted about her brilliant tech CEO sister. Tagged you. I waved it off. Let her chase the clout. My top-floor office was sleek, private. Screens showed silent news headlines. Solterra CEO quietly redefines climate tech. $3 billion 0 cents empire built in plain sight. Enough. Ms. Ramirez, your 9 a.m. is here. I turned, expecting a VC. It was Evan. The ex-fiancé my parents never forgave me for walking away from. Olivia, he said, attempting that same practiced grin. You look successful. I look exactly the same as when you called my startup dreams adorable and said I'd be back in 6 months, I replied, staying comfortably seated. He shifted. Your mother may have mentioned your company had offices here. I thought, given our history, I interrupted. You should remember, I don't entertain people who once told me tech was for men with MBAs, not women with idealism. He flushed. You also said, and I quote, they'll always hire someone like you in consulting. Diversity hires are in fashion. I pressed the intercom. Maya, please escort Mr. Lang out and update security protocols. As Evan was led away, my actual 9 a.m. arrived. Sarah Chin, the legendary VC behind 5 unicorns and counting. Entertaining morning? She asked, glancing toward Evan's exit. Just clearing old clutter. I smiled, pulling up our deck. Shall we talk about the future instead? The meeting was sharp, efficient, exactly what I needed before my noon board meeting, our first since the Forbes drop. I entered the boardroom to straighter backs and more attentive nods. Amazing how $1 billion valuation improves your credibility. Before we begin, I said, taking my seat, yes, the Forbes article was intentional. No, it doesn't change our strategy. Marcus pulled up our latest figures. Steep, clean, powerful. Our stealth phase worked. We're not ahead of the market, we are the market. An older investor cleared his throat. The visibility changes things. Your family. My family is not part of this company's leadership, I said flatly. What matters is this Project Helix. As I revealed our next-gen AI platform, Maya slid me a note. Your sister's downstairs, refusing to leave. I replied quietly. Send her to conference room C, the one with the plastic chairs. Then I got back to business. I finally made my way down to conference room C. She'd been waiting nearly 2 hours. Her designer blowout was starting to frizz, and her Prada tote was clutched to her chest like a life vest. Seriously, Olivia? She snapped the moment I stepped in. You couldn't tell security who I am? I'm your sister. They know exactly who you are, I replied calmly, sitting across from her. That's why they followed protocol. She faltered, then sighed. Mom's crying. Dad didn't even go into the office today. They feel betrayed. Betrayed? I lifted an eyebrow. By what? That I succeeded? That I didn't need their approval or their interference? It's not like that. We're family. We should have been part of this. Like I was part of your life? I asked. All those dinners where you and Colin bragged about bonuses and IPOs. Those charity galas where Mom introduced you as her successful daughter and me as Olivia. She's figuring things out. Lauren flinched. That's not fair. We didn't know. Because you never asked, I said. You didn't want to know. She looked around. Now that we do, can't we start over? Colin would love to collaborate. I opened my tablet. Colin? The same Colin with 3 failed ventures, SEC warnings, and a rapidly shrinking trust fund? That Colin? Her face reddened. You. I know everyone who tries to do business with us, including that he's been calling me amateur hour to investors. She paled. He wouldn't. The recordings are thorough. I stood. Now, if you'll excuse me. She grabbed my arm. What do you want, an apology? Fine. I'm sorry. We're all sorry. Just don't shut us out. I looked down at her manicured hand resting on my thrifted blazer. The one she mocked last night. I don't want anything from you, Lauren. That's the point. I built all of this without any of you, and that's exactly how I'll continue. But we're still family. Are we? I gave a soft, sad smile. Family believes in you before the Forbes article? Her hand slipped away. Another alert buzzed across my phone. Meeting confirmed. Governor's office, 2:30 p.m. I turned to leave. Mom and Dad, Charleston's about to become a tech capital. That's what I've been working on. I'm sure they'll all suddenly become very interested in my situation, I said dryly. As I walked away, leaving Lauren behind in the sterile conference room, Maya fell into step beside me, tablet in hand. Your parents are hosting another family meeting tonight, she noted. Your Aunt Moira's already called 3 reporters trying to claim she mentored you. I gave a quiet laugh. Let them scramble, let them spin. Success is the best revenge. But silence? Silence is the best response. The elevator doors opened. Sarah Chin stood waiting, flanked by a delegation of international investors. Ready to change the world? She asked, smiling. I straightened the same thrifted blazer Lauren once mocked. Tomorrow it would be splashed across a dozen media outlets as the new symbol of understated power. Always, I replied. The most disruptive ideas come from the people no one saw coming. Behind me, I could hear Lauren's heels echo down the corridor. Louder than applause, louder than validation. But I didn't flinch. I wasn't the overlooked sister anymore. I was the architect of the future. 1 month after the Forbes article, I sat in my office reviewing quarterly numbers. Solterra's stock had doubled. Our AI ecosystem was being hailed as transformational. Privacy had become a luxury, but influence, now, was routine. I reappeared. Your father's downstairs. I didn't look up. Same answer as yesterday. Is different today. No Mercedes, no suit, just jeans and a briefcase. That made me pause. Richard Ramirez, global strategy guru, wearing jeans. I pulled up the lobby feed. There he was. Smaller somehow. Quiet. The briefcase sat on his lap, untouched. Send him up, I said softly. As I waited, I glanced at the framed headlines on my wall. Solterra disrupts global climate strategy. Ramirez rewrites the rules of tech power. Success doesn't need permission. Dad entered, slowly, almost cautiously. He took it all in. No words, yet. And for once, that was enough. The whiteboards behind me were covered in equations and evolving models. Real-time market tickers flickered across mounted screens. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, Charleston stretched out beneath us. Familiar and unrecognizable all at once. Dad glanced around, quietly overwhelmed. Your mother keeps setting a place for you at dinner, he said finally. Every Thursday night, just in case. I gestured to the chair across from me. He sat slowly, resting a worn leather briefcase on his knees. I've been thinking, he began, about your 5th grade science fair. Of all the things he could have said, that wasn't on my list. You built a weather-predicting neural net. Everyone else had baking soda volcanoes. You had algorithms. He gave a faint smile. You won first place. I missed it. Board meeting. You tried again? I remember. You know what I don't remember? He continued. Asking you how it worked. Why you loved it. What you dreamed of building. He opened the briefcase and laid out a stack of papers. My earliest patents, published research, startup documents. You filed your first patent at 19, built your first AI protocol at 22, 3 startups before Solterra. We had no idea. Because you never asked, I said gently. You didn't want to know. He looked up, eyes softer. We were wrong. I was wrong. The pause between us was decades long. Your mom, she's learning Python, he added, says she wants to understand. Lauren's reading up on AI ethics, Colin. Colin's been pitching my competitors, I cut in, using my name for access. Dad winced. I didn't know. There's a lot you didn't. He pulled out one last paper, a photo. Me, 11 years old, standing proudly beside a hand-built display labeled Neural Weather Model. Olivia Ramirez. When did we stop seeing you? He whispered. I stared at that girl. Unpolished, unapologetic, unstoppable. You know, I said quietly, that model predicted weather with 76% accuracy. Pretty impressive, he murmured. For a 5th grader, I finished. Want to know Solterra's current prediction accuracy? I asked. Dad glanced up, curious now. What is it? 99.997%. I turned my monitor toward him, revealing our latest simulations. We're not just forecasting weather anymore. We're modeling climate shifts, economic swings, population movements. Governments use us to prevent disasters. Corporations use us to adapt before chaos hits. For the first time, I saw it. Not just awe, but comprehension of what I'd built, of why I'd built it. Show me, he said quietly. Help me understand. I hesitated, then stood, walking to the largest whiteboard. It starts with neural mapping, I explained, drawing pathways. Then we layered in quantum processing. For the next hour, I walked him through my life's work. He asked questions, smart ones, thoughtful ones. When I finished, he was silent. I have a confession, he said. Bennett Global is struggling. The old model's failing. Everyone wants AI now. I know, I said gently. Your stock dropped 42% last quarter. He chuckled. Of course, you know. You probably knew before I did. I'm not here for help, he added. I'm here because I'm proud of you. Not for the money, but the vision. We faced the window, watching Charleston stretch below us. What if, I said slowly, the next family dinner happened here? A real tour, no assumptions. I'd like that, he replied, then added, James? No plus ones, I said. Emma's learning. He's already cost them. I know. You bought their debt? Through Shell Company. She's still my sister. He nodded. Thursday at 7? Tell Mom to wear flats, I smiled. It's a long walk. After he left, Maya entered with coffee. Your mother called 3 times. Clear my evening, I said, pinning one last headline to my wall. Olivia Ramirez redefines the future and the meaning of family. It was time they saw it too. If you've ever been underestimated, you know how lonely but powerful that silence can be. I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Tell me about the moment you stopped waiting for permission. And if my story resonated, please subscribe. Your support helps share voices like mine with the world.